the thing about fear is like when your back is against the wall, that's when you're the most strongest because you got leverage. You know, it's like, all right, I'm at the bottom. I can't get no lower than this. So only way is up. You just gotta fight. And I think that's sometimes what niggas forget is that you get so discouraged in being low that you forget to fight. And you gotta fight every single time. And as long as you fighting and as long as you being productive, the universe gonna always bless you.
For my brothers never had an ear to hear them. These the bricks for our sisters help us build it. If I could be a black fly on the wall, I can hear and see it all and have the mind of a god. Black, 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 black. Fly, 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 fly. Black, 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 black.
Welcome to another episode of Black Fly on the Wall. It's your boy Lod, I'm your host. Of course, I'm here with some amazing people, as always, but we got a special guest. To my left, Lute, introduce yourself, man.
What's good, y'all? I'm Lute from Charlotte, North Carolina, signed to Dreamville, and I'm excited to be here with y'all niggas today,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Sam, introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all already know Sam Archer, CEO, Master and the Man, co-host Black Fly on the Wall. Happy to be here.
P.
Pierre Bliss, rapper, entrepreneur. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Lute, thank you again. Much love, gratitude for being here. Now we were just having an amazing conversation before the cameras came on. And so we like, man, we got to go ahead and get into it. You know what I mean? Sure. Today's episode is about fear, the fear of success, right? The fear of success. And the reason why we entitled this episode The Fear of Success is because we oftentimes are working towards success. And then a lot of times whenever we actually reach it, we're fearful of either what we've obtained or what we're fear of losing it. And then that's when we experience the anxieties of, okay, I've grinded so long to get to this certain level. What do I do now that I'm here? Mm-hmm. You know, so we're going to dive into it. And I know you having an amazing story as you're growing up in Charlotte, now being signed to Dreamville, Grammy nominated artist. You have ups and downs like everybody else.
For sure.
But I think you are a pinnacle in the community of what success looks like, not giving up on your life, not counting yourself out, and really tapping into who you are as an individual and putting that into your creativity. So just tell us a little bit about your story, man. Tell us about what makes Lute and what your upbringing has created for yourself.
As far as like what makes Lute, I'm still figuring that out. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still I take shit a day at a time. Cause life be lifing, bro. Like I say that shit all the time. Life be lifing. Like 1 minute, you feel like you got it all figured out, and the next minute you back at square one. So oftentimes I just been taking it a day at a time. I'm from Charlotte. I'm born and raised in Charlotte. Went to school here. So yeah, I'm from the West Side.
Nice.
But yeah, I just been here and just been trying to really figure out where it is I want to be and just what life got to offer for me.
I like how you said life is lifing, because I think most people see success and they think one way, but
yeah,
it's
people
so
see
much
life and success like just one, just this direction, and it's like, bro, y'all don't realize this like. It's all type of shit, man.
Yeah, for everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. It's not just one person. It's not just you. Like everybody's experiencing certain things. That's why I oftentimes tell like my niggas sometimes like you can't be focused on what somebody else is doing or somebody else's path because you don't know what they had to do to get to where they are. Yeah. Your path and his path are two different paths. Mm-hmm. Like even with success, a lot of people like even when I used to hate when like people would like compare you to certain people. Like I remember when the baby got on, people would be like, "Yo, what do you think about the baby?" It's like, "Yo, that nigga doing his thing."
Right.
I can't like why would you ask me that question in a way where you think that I'm gonna say something negative?
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
his path and my path, like we have two. I don't know what that man did or I don't know what his
journey is like
his journey with God or what he prayed for or whatever to get him to his situation versus whoever else's situation. Like any artist in the city. Like I don't compare myself to other artists or other people in the city because I don't know what they've done in their life or what they've worked hard for to get to where they are.
Absolutely.
They sacrifice.
Yeah, they journey, not my journey. That's why for me, it's just like, it's love from me to anybody because nigga, we trying to figure this shit out, you know?
Yeah, you going through I think a lot of times we have to often remind ourselves that, you know, we all human beings. And so outside of the success that you achieve, you're a human being just like anybody else. And you have your ups and downs, you have your pitfalls, you have your successes, you have your failures. And I think it's essential for us to maintain that level-headedness of who we are as human beings and the things that we experience.
You have to.
So what was more fearful for you? Was it becoming a father or experiencing failures upon your journey of success?
Nigga, everything. Everything can get fearful. For sure, being a father, I remember the day my daughter came, I'm sitting here like, oh shit, I'm a dad.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fucking dad. And then just thinking like, oh shit, I'm a dad. like, nigga, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I ain't got no job at the moment.
Right.
Like, nigga, how am I gonna do this? What, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. There's no blueprint for this.
Right.
You know? So
How old were you?
luckily I was 23, 24. Like I was beyond the part where my mom would be like, "Ah, nigga, what you doing?"
Right.
Like I was happy that I was having a
Yeah.
kid, but at the same time,
It got real.
yeah, like shit got super real. Like, cause I knew where my life was, or I knew what my life was at that time, and where my life was at that time, to where it's like, all right, cool, but how we gonna make this work?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in the relationship that I was in at the time with my daughter's mom, it's like, how we gonna do this? You know? So yeah, in that time, that shit was fearful than a motherfucker. But the thing about fear is like, when your back is against the wall, that's when you the most strongest because you got leverage.
Yep.
You know, it's like, all right, I'm at the bottom. I can't get no lower than this. So only way is up. You just gotta fight. And I think that's sometimes what niggas forget is that you get so discouraged in being low that you forget to fight. And you gotta fight every single time. And as long as you fighting and as long as you being productive, the universe gonna always bless you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna, like, as long as you putting in the work, I don't give a fuck what it is you doing, who you are, the universe gonna always bless you because somebody, you know, whether you know, niggas believe in God or not,
There's a divine force.
niggas see that you working. You putting forth an effort.
Yes.
As long as you put in, like my mom used to always say, if there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
So as long as you working and you putting forth an effort, like everything is gonna rearrange itself to work out for your favor.
Absolutely.
You know how you were saying earlier, like people to like question the path. Like I've had conversations with many. They'd be like, "Why don't I have it?" You know what I'm saying? Why isn't it for me? Why haven't I been blessed? Why do they got it so easy?
Yep.
You know, and it's like, yo, have you done what this person did? You don't know what they've been doing. You know,
It's
have you
normal.
sacrificed?
It's normal to think like, yo, why am I here? What am I doing wrong? But the real question is like, what are you doing in general?
Yeah.
What are you doing different that's gonna get you to where you going? Cause if you sitting there like
Comparing, complaining.
because obviously it's a pattern that you're in is the reason why it's not working out the way you want it to. So it's like sometimes, and I'm just now like realizing it within the like past 3 years, is we're constantly growing. So your perspective is always going to change. You know how you do something, it's like, damn, this used to be my shit, but it don't hit the same no more. Because you grown out of whatever that was. So now you got to change your perspective and tap into, a lot of times with social media now, it's hard to tap into yourself. Half the time, you don't even know yourself no more.
that's what I was getting
You know
at,
what I'm
bro.
saying? You don't
People
even
pay attention to other people so much that they don't take that divine
Yeah,
energy
because now
to succeed
you looking
themselves.
at what somebody else
sure.
is into.
Yep.
You're distracted.
Yeah, you
focused on
distracted
them
by
instead of you.
Distracted.
what you into, and now you focus on what they're into and what made it right for them. It's not gonna be the same for you.
And you
not
said
true.
you
Copy
said
and
something,
paste.
and you said something critical too, is that earlier you talked about like limitations. And like limitations, I believe limitations are the best thing for us because as creatives, those that are chosen to create, we see limitations as obstacles that we can overcome. And it pushes you to create more and create more and create more. It's just like an artist that is transitioning to a new avenue or a new lane. that limitation that they had self-imposed or what society has imposed upon them, they look at that as an obstacle that now I can go and create.
Yeah.
So we're just epitomes of the creation.
Yeah. But obstacles are inevitable.
Right. And there's something that you should use to overcome and just to continue to create and expand your brand.
Because with fear, it's like people are afraid of fear, but they say if you're not afraid of your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. You know what I mean?
Anything.
So
If you go on stage and you're not afraid to be on stage, anything that you do, anything that you have a passion for, if you're not like your palms sweaty when you're about to present it or do it, you don't fuck with it.
Yeah. Because people be like, I'd be like, yo, I'm nervous. People like, what you nervous for? You've been doing it. I'm like, because I got passion behind
like,
it. You know what I mean?
I want to make sure I'm doing it the way that
At the highest level possible.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like, and people just get discouraged by obstacles, but like obstacles are inevitable. Yeah. Obstacles help you for the next. All right, bro, you ever been in a situation where it's like, damn, how am I gonna get out of this?
Yep.
It's 5 years from then now. You know what I'm saying? And you like, oh shit, like nigga, I'm doing all right.
I did it.
The obstacle was the best part of the story.
Yeah,
half the time.
Well, whenever you tell a story, the most beautiful part of the story that everybody wants to hear and what you mostly accredit to your success are the low times.
Right.
You don't never talk about the highs being the reason why Lute is successful.
Yeah.
You talk about you talk about the things that really molded you to be the individual who you are today. And a lot of times those times are the times that are low. Yeah. And a lot of times we like to defer those tough moments and we like to defer those painful moments. But those painful moments is what pushes us to grow and become the epitome of who we are.
Yeah, the low times help you evolve into the person that you are. If you're the type of person that's always in a high tide, when the low tides come, you don't even know how to adapt.
You crash.
You swallow into that shit.
Yes.
Almost like I don't even, no disrespect to her, but Ronda Rousey. You're so used to winning, but when you get that one loss, it's like, oh shit, like I gotta rethink everything. But for somebody who's like on and off with the wins and loses, you appreciate the wins when you get them. It ain't when you do lose, it's like, all right, bet.
Just another loss.
Yeah, it's just another loss. Like I know how to adapt from
dust
this.
yourself off.
I know that I gotta work harder to get that win. So when you do get that win, it feels a lot better. But when you always on a high horse, as soon as you get knocked off, you don't know how to bounce back.
Absolutely.
From that shit.
Yo, when you fail, you can definitely bounce back with wins.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like, yo, I'm not focused on being the nigga at the top all the time. I'm just focused on being the best me that I can be and being better than the nigga I was yesterday. I'm never focused on the position. Because I know the positions can wane, bro. Like you can be on top 1 minute, you can be on the bottom. I'm never the type of person where I'm just like, yeah, nigga, I gotta be number one. It's like, no, I wanna be the best me. I wanna be the best me for whatever I'm up against.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be that nigga in the position.
Well, you're also not setting a unrealistic expectation of yourself, and putting pressures on yourself that don't need to be there.
I don't set expectations on myself because for me, I don't know. In any situation that I'm in, or any situation or opportunity that comes to me, I don't know what space I'm going to be to take in that opportunity. Yeah. It's opportunities I've missed because of my mental state or whatever, and it's opportunities where I'm like, I'm glad I took that, or I'm glad I got myself out of that situation. But for me, it's like my mental and who I am constantly changes. So I can't. Or I try not to set expectations for myself because I don't know what me is going to arrive in that moment.
And when did you first come into the feeling of knowing that you were different as far as how your moods change, your anxieties, the things that you fear? When did you first come into like, okay, I know that I have this certain state of myself and I need to manage it and be responsible for it so that I can take care of myself and prioritize myself?
Probably right before quarantine, but before then, I knew that there was, before quarantine, I didn't even know what the fuck anxiety was. I didn't even know what I had, or I ain't gonna say what I had. I just didn't know what anxiety was. So it wasn't no word on it. So for me, I'm thinking like, damn, like, am I tripping, or something wrong with me? Do I have certain spectrums that I don't know about? Like, what is this? Because I know it's not normal, and I know in certain situations my body reacts different and my mind reacts different. But I was just dealing with it. I was just coping, no medicine, no nothing, no whatever. I was just dealing with it. But before then, when I realized that something was off was in like 4th or 5th grade when we was doing EOGs. Where you do it was the first time we had to do the big end of the year test.
The good old days.
And but that first day that we had to do the test, I had a panic attack. And literally to the point where my mom had to come get me and get me out of school, and I had to take it later.
Wow.
But I had a panic attack, and it just came out of nowhere. And so that was my first time witnessing anxiety.
Experiencing it.
Yeah, experiencing anxiety. But then up until quarantine, that was the first time where it's like, all right, we gotta figure out what this is or whatever. But honestly, bruh, it came out of nowhere for me. I found out what the word anxiety was from an infomercial on BET.
Wow.
Like through the middle of the night. And it was like, are you experiencing such and such? I'm like,
yeah, that's me.
After
are you experiencing this and that? And I'm like, checking this shit out. It kept going down the line. And it was like, you have anxiety. Call this number for information. I didn't call the number, but I Googled anxiety. And I was like, oh shit.
You know, I can have something to identify.
Yeah, I can pinpoint what this feeling is, but I haven't really discovered it like that yet. You know what I'm saying? I had just figured out what the word was. Like, okay, I'm not a crazy ass motherfucker, or there's nothing wrong with me. But even from earlier today, when I told y'all how I got expelled, I realized my anxiety was also a stem of my behavior in school. You know what I'm saying? I was dealing with a lot of shit at the time. My mom had remarried, so me and my stepdad didn't get along. But what they triggered as like, or thought to be behavior, was really just my anxiety. You push me the wrong way, I'm going to react.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So,
do you think doctors are just now learning about anxiety? I've like realized like a lot of females that I talk to.
I don't know about doctors, but I realized black people are for sure just now realizing what it is, and we have it a lot.
It's so popular. Like, I'm realizing a lot of people have it.
Bruh.
But I think they were trying to like medicate us for it before, and you know, black parents wasn't going for that.
My mom has anxiety, and for so long, my mom has anxiety, my grandma had anxiety, my brother has anxiety. I thought I was going to lose my mom to anxiety at one point in time because she had to go to the hospital, be medicated, but like to the point where I couldn't even have a straight up conversation with my mom. That's how bad it was. Wow. And so I'm like, damn, I'm saying like, and at the time I didn't even know it was anxiety, but I'm thinking that I'm about to lose my mom to like some dementia type shit or whatever, not realizing that she just had a bad effect from some medicine that she was taking, and it caused her anxiety to shoot up, and like it's crazy. And we haven't known much about that shit.
It's kind of new.
Because our black, like, you know, as parents, like you said, they'll like, oh, you know,
I just flipped out.
Got energy.
Yeah, like, you be all right, type shit. And it's like,
yeah, we in our community, we due to the healthcare disparities, we lack the education around how to identify identifiers. So a lot of times, like other cultures, other communities, they know what identifiers are. Yeah. So they can quickly say, based on my education and me going to the doctor as often as I do, I know what an identifier is. So it's hard to label something without an identifier.
It's hard for us in so many ways because even that, like even with like, okay, let's say we do go to the doctors, like it's hard for us because sometimes in our community, we don't often trust the health or the doctor shit, even the medication. Because I was taking medication and it worked for me for a little bit, but then the headaches became like to the point where I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to use this shit no more. So I try to find healthier ways, and I've done unhealthy ways to try to cope with this shit too. And I remember before I got to my my first therapist, I was like, when I arrived to my therapist, I was like, yo, you my last option. If you can't help me figure this out, I don't know where I'm gonna be or how this is gonna end up. You know, because I had tried alcohol, I tried the medication, I tried the healthier shit. You know, I was on ashwagandha, I was taking that shit, I was taking natural stuff, and it would work, and then it wouldn't work. I was doing the breathing exercise, still do the breathing exercises, but I wasn't realizing that in me doing these things for my anxiety, I didn't realize I was going through depression. And that's the reason why some of those things weren't working the way they were. Because, you know, anxiety, depression, they like cousins.
Yeah.
So, you
Anxiety
know.
and depression.
But it's all mental.
Right.
It's all mental shit.
Was therapy like a back against the wall for you? Like, if I don't get it here, then...
Yeah, therapy was like, it was my last option, bro. Because at the time I went to therapy, bro, I was at the lowest of lows. This was the lowest I ever been. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I was afraid of therapy because, like most people, when you think of therapy, it's like, bro, I ain't about to sit in front of nobody, tell these niggas my problems or whatever. But
I ain't crazy.
What you don't realize is it's not that. It's you now have an unbiased opinion on what you're going through, and you have somebody that's trained and willing to tell you where your problems stem from and how to correct it.
Yeah.
It ain't you sitting down telling your problems to somebody or whatever. It's somebody that's listening to your problems, listening to your issues, and telling you where that comes from. Yeah. And what a lot of times is we don't realize that even the way that we was raised and how we grown up is done boiled over to us being adults.
Sure.
And sometimes we don't often know how to cope with certain traumas that we've been through in certain situations. And they're there to not give you the wrong advice. Because we be talking to people sometimes, and sometimes
friends and
because we respect them, we listen to their advice, but it's not always the best advice.
Yeah.
You got somebody that's right here in front of you, and now don't get me wrong, you got to pick the right person.
Yeah.
But you got somebody that's there to tell you how to cope and also how to move forward.
And really what they're telling you is what they're hearing. And that's what a lot of times you don't get from people that you know. They might hear it and then they'll spit something back to you.
And it'd be just some shit that they just telling you to cope.
Yeah.
It ain't even really based on what you just told them. They just telling you some shit to make you feel good.
Whatever
feel
sparked
better.
their reaction is what they're going to tell you.
And you sharing that now, it makes sense as like, I'm learning now about the personal you. You know, I first met you through your music. So now hearing your story about your journey and sharing that, I think that was, and I appreciate you sharing that because I think a lot of people need to hear your side of the story and how you are as an individual so that they can then manage their own stressors as well. But now I see the transparency through your music.
See, my music is my journal. And I think that's what people don't realize. Cause I see shit sometimes on like YouTube or whatever.
It's very relatable.
And I don't really pay attention to a lot of shit. And I know like niggas be like, sometimes niggas be like expecting bars and expecting this and that. But like how my music come to me is like literally how I feel from day one. From West 1996 to even before West 1996 to all the underground shit that I was doing. Like music been around far beyond my friends, far beyond just like music was my outlet when I didn't have people around to talk to about shit that I was dealing with, going through, seeing, whatever. So whatever I put down on my pen is literally from my perspective and my eyes. So oftentimes like it be songs where it's like, nigga, it's coming out how it's coming out. And it be times where I be writing shit and I'm like, I don't even know how I wrote that. I don't even know where that came from.
Out of body.
Yeah, like
zoned in.
Yeah, like I'm just tapped in and it's literally just coming out and I'm just a vessel. You know, so my music is my journal. Like literally when people hear my music, it's like we growing together. But I'm also telling you my experiences and holding myself accountable like right in front of you.
That's the relatable aspect.
My name is Jason Jett. I'm a recording artist, engineer, and music producer. And like most of you guys, I actually started making music out of my house, all right? I've had so many different studio setups out the crib, but there was always one problem with having a home studio. And that one thing was I could never scale my business to the next level, right? Artists don't want to pay $75, $100 an hour for studio time if you're working out the house. I got a solution for you. GrindHaus Studios. We've got 4 studios here where you get the opportunity to get studio time for as low as $10 an hour. All right, it's a monthly subscription. It's kind of like a YMCA for music, but you get to come in and work in an already acoustically treated room. All right, you got fully loaded computers and software and microphones at your disposal. Okay, click the link below. We want to see you be a resident at GrindHaus Studios. Apply now. Apply now.
So like with your music being your journal and as you progress through therapy sessions and all of that, what kind of effect, either negatively or positively, did you notice that therapy had on your music?
I just really, therapy made me realize that I was in the way of myself.
Okay.
And it's always going to be me. Like nobody else, I can't blame anybody around me. It's me. How am I going to show up today? who am I going to show up as today?
Mhm.
And it's okay if I don't show up today, you know?
That's
But
the one.
that's literally what made me realize,
Grace.
like, okay,
Yeah, give
it's just
yourself
all
grace.
about how I show up.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Like, therapy made me realize that I just have to show up and I have to choose myself each time. And it also made me realize it's okay that I don't show up today, you know, because you're not going to be 100% every day. But you have to be the person that water yourself.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing too is I love what you're saying. Like, you have to be the person that waters yourself, because it's all about accountability.
Yeah.
From that point of view, like, you're accountable for whether you succeed, you're accountable for whether you fail. No matter what, you're accountable, and you can choose how you manage and download that as you progress through the process. How did you find your therapist? I think that's the biggest question that we get in the DMs when we're talking about therapy, is like, was it somebody that was referred to you?
I just remember going to my manager like, bruh, I need some help.
Okay.
And he was like, okay, bet. I'm gonna call around and I'm gonna see what I can do. And he called to this one spot, and I remember my first therapist, Hannah. And I remember the day going, nigga, I was literally about to turn around. If she didn't make that courtesy call to check on me to see if 5 o'clock was still okay, bruh, I was going back to the crib. But she made that call, and like, damn, she is expecting.
That was divine.
Yeah. Bro, I was literally
divine.
on my way, turning around, about to go back to the crib, like, nah, fuck this shit. I don't need therapy. But she called me and was like, hey, I'm just checking to see if we still on for 5 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, we still on the way for 5 o'clock. So I turn around, I'm like, damn, she already expected me, so I'm gonna go.
Right.
But had she not did that, I wouldn't have went, bro.
That's what you talk about, the universe, like, already experiencing the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
You already asked for help. You already put the appointment. The universe is like, nah, see it through.
And I remember
you gonna
talking
go.
to her.
Yeah.
I remember talking to her about what I was experiencing in that time, because at that time, bro, I was drinking a lot. So I'm like, damn. And alcoholism runs in my family super deep. And honestly, that's low-key how I lost my dad. So when I went to Hannah in that time, I'm like, damn, like, is that me? Like, is that what I'm experiencing? And I remember talking to her, and she like, no, you're good. I know what alcoholism looks like. I know what that looks like.
I work in
like,
healthcare. I know what it looks like too.
She's like, the fact that you're able to be aware that there is an issue and that you've been abusing it more than you should have. She's like, that's a sign off gate that she's like, what you're dealing with is depression.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just the bottom line. You're dealing with depression, and you've been using that to cope, which is why you probably haven't been recognizing your limit lately. And so it was a sigh of relief, but then also it's like, damn, depression?
Yeah.
I'm not used to that word.
But she also allowed you to detach from the labels within your family associated with alcoholism. Because we don't want to be associated with those things. Like, we don't want to be a generational curse to ourselves.
And that's facts, because I'm telling her about my dad and my family, and she's like, I get that, but like,
I know that was a relief.
But it was, because I'm like, I know this runs deep. Yeah. I've seen this before.
Why not me too?
I'm recognizing shit, and I'm just like, and she's like, but the fact that you can even recognize certain things, she was like, I'm proud of you, because a lot of people don't make that decision. Yeah. And I literally, it was just a day where I'm just like, all right, I hit my manager up, and I'm like, yo, I think I kind of need some help. You know, I'm just going through some shit, and I don't think I can. I'm so used to dealing with shit on my own, and at this time, it was just like everything was too much. And I'm like, and it's hard. It was hard for me, bro. I don't ask for help, and I think that's another thing that kind of keeps us from certain things is not asking for help. But in that moment, I was like, okay, I know that in this moment, I can't deal with this on my own.
In our community, I think we over champion independence.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like, we push independence on kids. We push independence on teenagers. You push independence on even 20, 21-year-olds. It's like, it's almost to the point where we're being pushed before even being able to go through the processes of being children, of being teenagers, of being young adults.
That shit was so
it's
hard.
almost a measure, though. Like, it's like you applaud kids when they can do things by themselves. You know what I mean? You're like waiting for somebody to get to that moment.
So it's almost like we have to change the scale. Like, we have to change as the culture. We have to change how we view success within our children, within our siblings, within our nieces and nephews. It's like, you don't have to be the most independent person at 10, 12 years old, and we label that as success.
Yep.
We just need you to be the best version of you and always put your best foot forward and move in a positive direction. That's what success is, you know? And I think as we shift how we define, how we scale things, how we measure things, that'll assist us all in all with not feeling those pressures and having to be independent. You mentioned one thing in your one of your previous statements about your father. Mm-hmm. Your father passing away. How did that affect you as a human being?
It was definitely tough. Before my pops passed, we were on good terms, but before then, me and my pops we didn't always see eye to eye. I ain't gonna say we was on bad terms. We just didn't always see eye to eye. And my dad was the first person I had to set boundaries with. Mm. And
I've been there.
But there was a lot of questions still that I had with my dad or for my dad, where when my dad passed, I felt like I wasn't gonna get those answers. But the way the universe works, as I've been growing, I've been getting those answers through living and realizing like, oh, maybe that's why he made such and such decisions. Or maybe now I understand the decisions that he did make. So where I thought I wasn't going to get those answers, I've been getting clarity from living and experiencing maybe what he's experienced, and now I've been getting those answers. It's so crazy, bruh. Mm-hmm. But like losing my dad, which is gonna be weird to say, and me and my therapist I got a new therapist, Dr. Kidd, black guy. He's also lost his dad, and we've been talking where it's like when you lose your dad, it's like the first sign that you recognize you being a man. Mm. It's so weird. It's weird to say, but like when I lost my dad, as sad as I was, something in me made me feel hella strong. You know what I mean? It made me feel like, okay, because now I got a child, and now I'm like, okay, so it just instantly sparked in me to who I need to be for my daughter. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, it's really weird, bruh, but
You chose to look at it as a lesson instead of a loss.
I had to look at it where it's just like,
it's like a little bit of independence.
Yeah, it was. It really was, bro. Like when my dad passed, I just got this weird sense of just life and what life looks like, and now I'm not afraid. Yep. You know, you get that fearlessness.
There's a book, I think it's either the Master Key System or The Way to Superior Man, but it tells you like live life like your dad is dead, because most people live for the approval of their dads and stuff like that.
Bro, I just got this unexpected just fearlessness, bro. And it was weird, because I'm like, what do I do with this? At the time, I didn't know what to do with the energy, what to do with the feeling, and then, you know, life shit happens, but then I became the strong one. Mm-hmm. Where now it's like, okay, this life situation happened, that life situation happened. It's all good. We're going to be right. We're going to be straight. Mm-hmm. It's all good. We just got to keep pushing. And that's where I got the mentality of like, as long as you putting in the work, the universe going to bless you. Because after my dad passed, it was just like, fuck it. Like, we going to figure it out.
You're the only one accountable.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to figure it out. It's on my back now. Yep.
I kind of want to take what he said and just want to add something. Like, you know, I'm not in that position, but I feel like on a spiritual level, what happened, like from what I'm hearing too, is beautiful, bro. Like, you lost him, but then you gained him.
Yeah, but I gained him in a way that I felt like I always needed him.
Yes.
Like in a way that I didn't think I had him while I was alive. When he passed, I felt like I gained that energy of my father, of what I really needed. And it was just like, that's why it became easier to grieve, because now it wasn't me grieving my dad. It was me appreciating my dad for what he did do when he was present, you know, versus when he weren't, or when we had rifts or whatever.
Right.
And somebody asked me, like, when you had set those boundaries, would you play it any different? And I told them no. Because, you know, me and my dad's relationship was how me and my dad's relationship was.
Well, when you said them, you was focusing on what was then the past.
Yeah.
As you was focusing on your present.
And the reason why I say that is because the last time I saw my dad before he passed, we both told each other we loved each other.
There you go.
And we hugged each other almost as if low key, I ain't gonna say my dad felt like he was gonna be here long, even though he would always say like little dumb shit where
his soul could have been prepared.
Yeah, but I just felt like, you know, in that moment, me and my dad, we hugged, we told each other we loved him, and that gave me clarity because it's like, at least he know or knew, and at least I knew that my dad loved me. So with that, it was just easier to grieve, and like I said, life be lifing. So I was able to also, I was also in a position to where maybe I understand why my dad made certain decisions as a man.
What was your grieving process like?
Living. It was just living and recounting situations, even bad ones. But it was just, I had to live. In anything that I do, I have to live. If I want my music to be better, I gotta live. If I want my relationship to be better, I gotta live. If I grieve, I gotta live. And I just, you know, it's all about just constantly choosing yourself, getting yourself up, and to live. You can't sit in this shit. You sit in this shit, you're gonna lose yourself.
It's one of my favorite things. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there.
Yeah, it's not, bro. It's not okay to dwell.
It's a bar.
You can't dwell.
Yeah. And a lot of times, too, I think that doubles back on accountability because a lot of times people like to swim in that pool of misery. And even though life happens, you're still accountable for digging yourself out or at least doing your part in the digging and then let those around you assist you in getting yourself out of that.
Because misery loves company. You're going to be connected to a lot of other niggas that's miserable. It's going to be hard to get out of that group of misery. So it's going to be even harder. You're just going to keep dragging yourself. So I look at life or I look at shit like that.
It's a vibration. It's a frequency for sure.
Right. You remember that Batman movie with Bane? And he threw that nigga down in the hole. And
I was born
he was trying to, he was born in that shit. But Batman was like always trying to get out of that shit, but he had the rope. And the old nigga told him like, bruh, you know how bruh got out of here? He wasn't using that rope. So it's like, you gotta have that sense of fearlessness to survive because hanging on to that comfortability is gonna always hold you back. The rope was holding the nigga back. It's like, bro, you gotta stop using the rope. The rope is weighing you down.
Comfort breeds contempt. So you stay in that. Comfort allows you to get cozy. But one of my favorite quotes is, "A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there."
Right.
So if we're always seekers of growth, we have to always make sure that we're staying uncomfortable so that we can water ourselves and continue to grow.
I ain't never met nobody successful that couldn't say that they made a leap. You look at any successful person or anybody you deem successful, at some point in their life, they had to take some kind of leap of faith.
Absolutely.
Where they didn't know how it was going to work out or whatever. And a lot of people be like, well, what's the difference between what I'm doing and somebody following their dreams? The difference is you haven't made that leap yet. And whatever that...
You're still playing it safe.
On the other side of that leap, it's going to always be fear because you don't know how it's going to work out or how it's going to happen. You don't know how
you're going to land.
So it's always stepping out. Like in any point in your life, you're going to have to step out on that leap of faith, not knowing what's going to happen.
Well, eagle doesn't know they can fly until it flies.
Exactly.
So I think we have to take that same analogy and apply it to us. Actually, I feel like fear and darkness are synonymous.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but that's where creativity is born from. Like creativity is born from the fear of not knowing if something is going to work. Imagine how many times the iPhone was drawn up and created before they even found a true proof of concept. Yeah. Like imagine what it was like for the universe to create this, for God to create this out of void, out of darkness. So we have to always make sure that darkness is sometimes presented to us as something negative, but actually it's an opportunistic time for us to create and become the individuals who we're born to become.
Darkness, I like to use it as like low tides. Sometimes in your low tide is when you're gonna make your best shit. Like, it be times where I go through things and I'm like, damn, like, yo, this sucks right now. But the artist in me is like, this gonna make for some good shit, though. Like, I got content or whatever. And that's how you the most relatable in the low tides that you go through. Because we all experience it. We all experience these highs and money when we get it. We know what that is. We know what that feels like. But when somebody's going through a low tide or a low situation, it's like, damn, you go through that too? Damn, you experienced that too? I thought it was just me. That's when you really connect with people. It ain't in the high that you connect with niggas. Because, like, nigga, that's easy.
Right.
Like, highs come and go.
There's no work in that.
It's the low. It's like, damn, you experienced those lows too, nigga.
And like you said, it's only one way out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, if you're at the lowest, you only climbing out of that.
Yeah, bro.
$712 vodka, distilled only once from Blue Ridge Mountain Water. Alkaline and gluten-free 712 vodka is perfect for sipping or mixing. When you want to enjoy the finer things in life, serve up 712 vodka and reflect with us on the happenings that have made you who you are.
Your GQ write up, and it was amazing. Dope shoot, by the way. When you
I
was in LA.
appreciate it. I wasn't even expecting that. Though.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Nigga, like, all right.
Facts. That was fire. I saw that you spoke about poetry in your interview with GQ. Like, has poetry enhanced your love for yourself?
Hell yeah. I just did I recently, maybe a month ago, did an open mic, and I've been going to open mics lately because, like I said, I for like a year and some change, I kind of fell back from music a little bit. Mm-hmm. And for a second, it was just like, do I even love this shit anymore? But then I started going back to poetry because poetry, like when it comes to this music shit in general, I like to write. I'm a writer. Mm-hmm. I like to say I'm a writer more so than I am an artist. I just like to write because I journal daily or when I can. And in quarantine, I was journaling all the time. Mm-hmm. But poetry helps me where music can't. Because music has like certain guidelines. Poetry, you can just kind of go off the grid a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that helps me get back into my writing mood, into creating music. Because sometimes my poetry turns into songs. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what can I do to spark my interest and get back rolling? So I started popping up to poetry events.
That's fire.
And start popping up to open mics.
People looking at you like,
yeah, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just scoping and bro, I ran into some really dope, like,
I bet,
artists and niggas that do poetry, and I'm just sitting there like, damn, like these niggas are amazing. And but you see the passion in it.
They are
when you go to open mics, you see the real passion, the real hunger, the real artistry. So I was going to like different open mics, and I would just be popping in. And they be like, yo, you trying to? And I was like, nah, not today. I'm just watching y'all niggas. And then until I built the courage, and a homegirl of mine was doing this poetry event, and she asked me if I wanted to be a special guest. And I was like, all right, bet. And I said that because me saying that, I was still kind of nervous and didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, if I tell her yeah, then I have to. Yep. Mm-hmm. I got to prepare myself to do it. And I did it, and bro, it was the best thing I did because it brought me joy to know that I still got love for writing. Yeah. I still got love and passion for just to be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And to do this shit.
Strip everything away.
Bro, it made me realize why Andre be running around playing the flute in coffee shop. So I'm like, yo, you just trying to get that passion again, and you just trying to find yourself. And in the poetry, I found myself. I found my angle. I found who I want to be and where I want to be. And I knew that I wanted to be involved in this still.
It's kind of like the athlete or the dude that who's losing passion for hooping, then he go to the playground.
Yeah, you go back to where it started.
That's when you regain your love for hooping.
Become a kid again.
Yeah. And that's literally it. Like, you really become a student of it all over again. Because I'm watching these niggas.
And they go in at the
and they're going the fuck in, bruh. Yeah. And it's so beautiful. So I'm like, okay, I got to get back to this. I got to get back to that.
I can relate, man, because last summer we did, we was transitioning, and we did 2 live shows kind of like back to back, and had like a little break from the studio. But like, I love being in the studio. Mm-hmm. Like we have a side of our business that we do live shows and live events, and they're fun. But my true passion and love is in the studio doing this right here.
Right.
Like, not a whole bunch of cameras, not a whole bunch of people, not a whole bunch of production, but just getting to this. And so, like, I can relate because, like, I leave from moments and days like this, like, fired up, like, ready to get after it. Like, we talk after, then you just be, like, on go mode, like, what's next? Yeah. Like, let's go hunt, let's go eat. And, like, that's that passion I feel whenever we in the studio, because we allowed to kind of put forth our authentic selves and really tap into who we are as men and women, and really find what makes us happy. Pure Soul Restaurant in Durham, North Carolina is one of the best plant-based restaurants in the country. Plant-based everything. Whether you are 100% plant-based or flexing your diet, Pure Soul has amazing options for everyone. With majority of the foods being locally sourced from Pine Knot Farms, a small business with sustainable practices, you taste the North Carolina love and soul through every bite. Family, Pure Soul isn't trying to convince you, they are trying to feed you. Stop by Pure Soul in Durham and tell them Black Fly on the Wall sent you. I love the poetry. What I was going to ask you is, what are 3 things in your life that make you happy? Pure happiness, pure bliss.
My daughter.
How old is she?
She'll be 9 in June.
Nice.
My daughter, because with my daughter, it's like I see my daughter and I see myself, but I also see the person that she's becoming for herself. And it's like, it's amazing.
A little bit of you, a little bit of her.
It's amazing to see because it's like you're now your own person, though. You know what I mean? Like you're your own individual person. So to see what she's into, what she likes, like she loves to do hair. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, she be braiding my hair, braiding my mom's hair, and good at. She's about to be 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fuck with that. And she's in the drawing too. So when I see her drawing, I'm like, yo, I love to see it because she know I like to draw. And she been watching me draw or whatever.
Like, but, that's me.
Yeah, and also seeing her tapping to me, like she be writing raps. I'm like, let me hear something. Let me hear some little raps. But like she be rapping. And it's like, I love to see it. But I just also love to see her mold into the person that she's becoming. But I also see the things that I could have possibly passed down, like anxiety. I can see her anxiousness and stuff like that. But my daughter, because my daughter's the whole reason why I even made an attempt to even take this shit serious. I felt like at the time I ain't really had no other option. But
she put that battery in you.
Yeah, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have no career, to be honest. So
I love it.
That just honestly, just life in general, like just being here and trying to figure out what the next thing is.
You enjoy the process of life.
Yeah, I just enjoy the process, like, because I never know where my interest is going to be 2 years from now.
And that's freedom.
Yeah, and
that's freedom.
And just
that's freedom.
Knowing also like that every day ain't going to be its best, but seeing how I'm going to get myself out of that situation. That and just the art of like music and art in general. Because before music, I was in I was like a graphic designer. Like I was doing niggas mixtapes and logos and all type of shit. So like I really have the art for like art.
You designed your own album cover?
No, my homeboy did. But me and my homeboy met in 6th grade. We've been homeboys since 6th grade, but I met him in art class.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
Like just music and art, bro. Like there's certain songs I listen to where it's like it's like a timestamp. You know where you were, you can kind of like feel the atmosphere, you can smell the smells or whatever. It's like, so like music is definitely like a time capsule. But then an honorable mention, like I love cars too. My mom got me into that shit and my brother. So like when I'm around cars, I got a 1970 Galaxy.
Nice.
And that's my baby. I used to have a Camaro. I had an 89 Camaro.
I want a 69.
Yeah.
That's
my dad had a 69 Firebird. It was gold.
Nice.
Bruh. So yeah, cars, music, my daughter, and just life, bruh.
Wait, before we move on, do you think you're like it'll like progress into art? Do you see yourself like trying to be like Baby Basquiat or anything later? Like if you do hang your shoes up in music, maybe you won't because I mean Nas and Jay still going. But like
I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to be I don't want to do the music shit forever. I love it. But
art is sexy. Like you know
it is.
Like,
and art is sexy. I don't see myself being a Basquiat, but I do see myself being the type of person where I'm not gonna let my talents die.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm not trying to say I'm gonna be like when the rap shit is done, I'm gonna be the next popping artist. Like I just wanna still be able to create. When I was working, it was a dude named Rob, DJ. And he got to be like 65 or up there. You know what I'm saying? He OG. But the fact that he's still DJing and the shit, and you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's that type of shit.
Love.
Like he's still DJing at that age. Like it ain't died. He still got the love for it, still got the passion for it. I want to be like that.
So you can see yourself.
Yeah, like I can see myself still painting when I'm older. I can see myself still having to show a nigga a bar or two or whatever, but like I don't want to
like,
be.
I ain't lost it now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I mean, it would be fire and a blessing to be 50, 60, still touring or whatever. But at a certain point, I just want to be at a space to where I can step aside from music and kind of watch my daughter grow. Because by the time she in high school, I kind of want to be fully present for that.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be on the road and missing high school shit, proms and all that shit. I want to be fully invested because high school is a pivotal point for anybody.
It is, man.
You know.
And two, I like those, man. I like the love for cars. We talked about poetry. We talked about your love for art. As a rapper, sometimes it gets lost that, you know, rappers like other genres of music outside of rap. Like, what's an R&B album or an R&B artist that really inspires you to continue to create and stay in your bag? Is there anything of any? Is there any type of R&B inspiration that you have in your life, even from your childhood to now, that's really gave you inspiration?
Marvin Gaye.
Man, me too, bro. We might be cousins.
Hey, we might be, but nah.
Look like I'm a little.
Nah, and it ain't even because of like the references. Like my mom was really heavy on Marvin Gaye and like just old tunes. Like it be some like every now and then some Temptations will pop up and I'll sing that shit word from word. And niggas be like, "Bro, how do you know this song?" I'm like, "Dog, every Sunday, Saturday,
absolutely."
My grandma had a Cadillac. We would hop in the Cadillac, and every Sunday morning, Saturday morning, my mom and my grandma would go to attic sales on the Southside. And so in the car, bro, that's all I would hear because that's what they listen to. Whether it be Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye, Patti LaBelle, or whatever. So when like Temptations come on, I know that shit word from word. Niggas be looking at me like, bro, what the fuck? But it's like, bro, this is what I grew up on. I didn't grow up on like hip hop or nothing. I didn't get introduced to hip hop until I got to like 9th grade, 8th or 9th grade. So it took me a while. But yeah, bro, music is just like
Ain't life funny?
Yeah, it is.
Like, cause you're a hip hop musician, you know, like
right.
Like the notoriety you get from that, but it's like before, you know, it was art and it was like old school music, you know what I'm saying? Like soulful stuff.
Everything always comes back full circle, bro. Like it never fails. Like always come back full circle. It be shit that I be doing or dealing with, and then it come back on like a major scale. I'm like, damn, this crazy, bro.
Seriously though, do a cover or some shit like looking like Marvin Gaye.
So like
you look
Halloween,
like him.
gotta
I might,
do it.
bro. I just look for Marvin Gaye like.
Oh, it's
like
it's a thing.
It's divine.
Ago. Yeah,
it's divine.
He might be what is it? You know, like you might be him reincarnated.
I might be. I might be.
You in the music?
You know what I'm saying? Who knows, bro?
Nah, man. But man, look.
Tomorrow.
Amazing interview, man. I love the transparency. I think it's important that artists like yourself are often humanized, right? Because us as fans, we like to develop our own perspectives and our own ways of thinking about who you are as an individual. But it's vitally important that people hear interviews like this, so they be like, you know what, I experienced the same things that Lute experienced. Lute experienced the same things that I experienced. So how I deal with my anxiety, my fears, how I deal with success is all based on how I choose to show up. Right? Or if I choose to show up at all, and to be okay with that. I also love how you showed that you were fearful of going to therapy, but you did it, but you still had those emotions. Like sometimes, like I've been to therapy as well. I've been to therapy with my father, so I've been twice, and it was a beautiful experience in both. So I can definitely relate to you on how the process of like, I don't really need to go. But you are so, like I tell people all the time, man, like, it's one of the most beautiful things that you can do because you allow yourself to just express.
Right.
It's a safe space. Like you feel like you're in that room and what you say is not going to get out to anybody else, right? So it's like you also get to take that unbiased feedback and to be able to move forward and to be able to progress as well. So I think I just want to thank you. Like I've thanked you multiple times since I've met you today, but I think it's impactful that we're having this conversation about fears, anxieties, and the fear of success.
Because like I feel like everybody's idea of success is different, and for me, I feel like I'm still defining what success is to me. like even with my nephew, because my nephew and I got some cousins and even my daughter, you know, like, but my nephew specifically, like, Uncle Lute, you
Uncle Lute,
you famous, like, you know what I'm saying, like, Uncle Lute, you a celebrity, and it's times where I be wanting to say, I'm not famous, nephew, like, I'm probably well known, but I'm not famous, but to him, he sees it as like, yo,
you the Don,
yeah, and I don't want to.
I deal with the same
I don't
thing.
want to cloud him from what he sees things, but for me, you know, where everybody like, cause even when like even certain accolades, people will think like, oh, bro, you doing it, like, or nigga, you made it, and for me, it's like, nah, not yet. Like, I'm still climbing. I still got things to do.
It's hungry.
Even with like, cause again with like the plaque for, we got a plaque for Under the Sun, and we got a plaque for the album. And a lot of people would think like, oh, it's the plaque that I'm proud of. And it is the plaque that I'm proud of, but it's not even because of that it's platinum. It's the fact that that's the first thing that I got with my name on it that signifies that I accomplished something, because I don't have a high school, I don't have my diploma.
Wow.
So for me, it's like, it's not even about the platinum plaque or the fact that it's platinum. It's just the fact that I got something that says that I achieved something with my name on it, that I can hang up.
That shows you the the power of putting like something in ink, and on paper.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, it's not even about the like, that's fire, and I'm appreciative of the accolade, but it's really more so that I got something that says I achieved something.
See, like now we got. Now I was about to close it out. I got to ask you something. So, what was your experience like with joining Dreamville and like measuring your value of yourself? I
never measured myself, but I definitely appreciated the fact that they allow you to be yourself. And that's one of the main reasons that I appreciate Dreamville, because they don't try to take you away from who you are. In fact, they invest in who you are and make sure that you're pushing through who you are.
Do you think Cole has a major part in that?
I think everybody in Dreamville got a major part in it. I don't even think it's just Cole, but Cole does have a part in it.
As to reflect leadership.
Like all this, everybody at Dreamville.
But you can see that once you said they let you be yourself, you think about it, you're like, yeah, everybody is kind of authentic.
Yeah, when you like you go down the roster,
like a family vibe, and everybody makes sure that everybody's straight on the path that they need to be on, and that's you don't get that everywhere.
No.
I hear things and I see certain things. It's like you really don't get that anywhere. So it's truly a blessing, to be honest. And again, I feel like it's just that divine, that universe putting you in the right places where you need to be.
And you were about to quit before he actually called you.
Yeah. And then, I was working at Walmart when he called me. That wasn't when I got signed, but he called me while I was working there.
Random number? Who was this? Like,
yeah, like random shit.
Because we don't answer numbers we don't see.
Yeah, but it wasn't even the number. It was just my boy telling me that Cole had hit him and wanted me to hit him. And I'm like, bro, this makes no fucking sense. What are you talking about?
Like, this
but, you know, like,
April Fools.
I done told this so many times, but it's like, on Twitter, you had to be following somebody in order to DM them.
Right.
But I wasn't following Cole. I was new to Twitter at the time.
Okay.
I had like low ass, like only a couple people. But my homie was a Cole fan. So he was following Cole, and I guess Cole had heard my music somewhere and was trying to reach out to me, but he couldn't DM me because I wasn't following him. So he followed my homeboy, the close person that he saw me interacting with, and I was interacting with my homeboy.
That's crazy.
So he followed my homeboy, DM'd him, and told him like, yo, I fuck with your boy Lute shit. How that nigga holler at me because we gonna be in town for CIAA. My homeboy hit me and like, yo, Cole hit me, told me to tell you to hit him up. I'm like, bruh.
Like, what you talking about?
Why would
Don't
Cole
waste my break.
Yeah, I'm telling him like, because I had just, I'm on like
lunch.
bruh, as anywhere, I'm on my last strike.
Right.
So I'm like, bruh, I ain't trying to get fired. You playing on my, and mind you, my homeboy is a nigga that be joking around. So it was harder for me to believe
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him. He do stupid
So
stuff
when
like
he
that.
actually is being serious, it's hard to recognize when he's being serious. So I'm like, stop playing on my phone.
Yeah.
But he kept hitting me. So on my lunch break, I was like, let me just see what he's talking about. So I'm like, and here I am like, I'm about to follow Cole. And I'm like, this stupid.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm listening to him. So I follow Cole. And as soon as I follow Cole, he did me. And I'm like,
This the right
shit.
Cole? Let me.
Yeah, like
You
I'm
verified?
like,
You got to check.
so I'm like, oh shit, okay. But then he lets me know, like, yo, this how I found your music. We're gonna be at CRAA for the week or for the weekend. I want you to, pull up so I can let you know how I found your music, and but that was the start of our
That's dope.
relationship.
One thing about Cole, he'll track you down because he just did that with the beat.
Yeah, bro.
Put the beat on YouTube.
And like I said, like
He from the
just
910 too, so we persistent.
been
What
hella
music did you
cheap.
have out at that time?
Huh?
What music did you have out that time?
I had just dropped West 1996.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that joint's hard.
I had just dropped West 1996.
Yeah, that was hard.
I had literally just dropped it that February.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And he said that somebody was playing it. He had just had a show in Florida. He said somebody was playing it in Florida or whatever, or they was playing it on the way back. Something like that. Either somebody was playing it or somebody asked him who was he listening to or who was he looking at that was coming up in North Carolina. And I think he was just like, put me on. And I guess they put him on to the mixtape or whatever, and they was listening to it on the way to CRAA. And so he reached out to me.
That's hard.
And I met Cole and I met King Mez that night and Miguel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
My main producer used to produce for King Mez in high school. They was like tit tat. His name is Streets Mentor.
Okay, yeah. King Mez got me my first show as just Lute. Because I was in a group, but my first show as a solo artist or just Lute was at King's Barcade in Raleigh. That was my first time in Raleigh.
Dope.
And he was the headliner there, and from meeting him backstage with Cole that night, he was like, yo, open up for me, and I did.
Yeah.
That was my first.
Congratulations from bottom to top.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
It was crazy, bro.
Yes.
It was crazy. It's been a crazy journey, and I'm just like I said, like
the fun part though.
I'm just excited to see what's next.
Life be life.
Yeah.
Life definitely be life.
Life definitely be life.
That
That's love, man. Thank you, bro.
Nah, thank
you,
y'all, man.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Dope interview.
For my brothers never had an ear to hear 'em. These the bricks for our sisters help us build it. If I could be a black fly on the wall, I can hear and see it all and have the mind of a god. Black, 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 black. Fly, 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 fly. Black, black, black.